Namaste and welcome to Waking Up with Mindful Serenity. And we're going to continue answering questions from the jar. 10-minute question, prompt two, no practice, no idea what I'm going to be answering. And I'm going to do it off the cuff as imperfectly as I do things these days. And that is the intention, just to be as authentic as possible. So I can assimilate some of the learning that I've gained over the last 25 years of my yoga / everything else practice. So I am going to reach in before I set my timer, just making sure my timer stays there because I have a tendency to lose it. And, okay. What is Sat Chit Ananda and what does it cost? Wow, that's a good question to ask in yoga. What is Sat Chit Ananda and what does it cost? I'm going to start. Take a deep breath. So I'm grounding. So it's not the ego answering this question. What is Sat Chit Ananda and what does it cost? Well, Sat Chit Ananda is a Sanskrit phrase that basically means eternal conscious bliss. So it is a name in some cases. It's actually a description of something, the experience that we can have when we're fully enlightened. But it's also often used as a description for God. God is eternal consciousness bliss. So wow, that is a big statement to make. What it is basically saying that our consciousness is God. Our consciousness is the eternal thing that doesn't change. In this world of form, everything's changing, coming and going, arising and dissolving, dying, being born. But in actuality, that which does not apply to those concepts we have in our human forms of birth and death and being and non-being is eternal, right? It is non-changing. It is never wavering. It's the three words often used to describe God or describe this experience of omnipresent, omnipresent, always present, everywhere. There's nowhere where it's not. And that could be said as the kingdom of God is amidst you. It's a famous quote, famous passage from the gospel. Then there is, it's everywhere. Then there is, it's omniscient, meaning that it knows everything. So it goes beyond our thoughts and concepts to true knowing and true wisdom. And it is omnipresent, omniscient, and oh my goodness, I know that so well. It's everywhere, it's everything, and it's not subject to change. But for some reason, that last omni slipped my mind. Forgive me. Had a bit of a stressful and exhausting day, so I'm a little off the mark. Regardless of that, so that is God. God is everywhere and everything. All-knowing is omniscient. That He is. He's omniscient. So omnipresent, and I just want to get that other one in there. But I can't think of it. So it's everywhere, God, eternal. Then consciousness. We are consciousness. We are that objective observer that sees and experiences life. We are not the things that are happening to us or the things that we're witnessing. That is taking this amazing light of consciousness and shining it down to a tiny little pinprick of a narrow focus and staring at the world through that. And of course, what we're staring at tends to be very personal, changing, ever-changing, based on concepts and ideation, emotional, all the stuff we've got going on in these human dramas that we're a part of. So we're putting all this amazing consciousness down onto that when we are actually the consciousness. We're not what the light is shining on. We are the light that is doing the shining. And once we release our focus a little bit off the me and fall back into this light, we recognize where we are. We become once again enmeshed into the seat of consciousness, or the seat of the objective server, the seat of self. And then bliss, joy. Shakti is joy and bliss and all these wonderful high emotions that we seldom experience, or at least not permanently for long extended periods of time. Joy, bliss, peace, love, ecstasy. That is what is inside us. We tend to think it's out there, or always grasping and clinging for these things, these objects, these impermanent things that are just the opposite of Chitananda, to hang on to and hope that it will fill in this void we have. It's only because we are not aware that we have it inside us. We are not recognizing, re-recognizing, re-knowing, recognizing, re-knowing what we already are. So because we've got all these layers of samskaras and all this human drama and our focus on that in between us and what we are, we don't recognize that light. We tend to focus so deeply we become identified with that, on that with which we're staring, on the happenings of the world, the objects of the world, and not on the observer, the objective observer, the subject that is doing the observing. So that keeps us from knowing this bliss that is our birthright, and that's right inside us. So when we look at Satchidananda, it's the ultimate experience we could have as human beings, the ultimate experience we could have as beings. And it is there for us to experience. But what does it cost? It costs us this. It costs us the me. It costs us the self with the little s, the personal focus. In order to achieve Satchidananda, we need to let go of our focus and our attachment on that which we are looking at. Stop identifying with it. It is not who we are. We are not this body with all its aches and pains. We're not this mind with its thoughts. We're not this heart with its feelings. We are the objective observer, observing these things happening to this body, to this heart, to this mind, to this experience we have on this wonderful, amazing planet. We are here to observe and experience, not become that which we are observing and experiencing, because we are always going to be beyond that. We are the Satchidananda. We are the light of God inside ourselves. It is in us. And that's not blasphemous. That's been preached in the bandanas and the Hindu philosophy for years. It's been preached in the Buddhism, not Buddhism, it doesn't turn to use God, but it says the conditions for happiness are within us. It's teaching these ancient philosophies that have been around for eons, and it is taught in Christianity because Christ says the kingdom of heaven is amidst you. It is around you. You're already in it. It's inside you. You just have to let go, and this is what it cost us, of the me. Die to be reborn. You need to let go of the personal self for the ultimate self with a capital S. And that's what yoga is all about. It's helping us to reduce our focus on the little me, to expand it beyond that to all that it is. And when we expand it beyond, we begin to accept the contradictions, so-called contradictions in life, what we would normally, with an unequanimity, judge as bad, good, right or wrong, should or shouldn't be, and it all just is. And that's the equanimous focus on life. There is no judgment of it. There's no resistance, and that's another humongous word in yoga, is to help us get to yoga, to that true union with Satchitananda, to that true recognizing, re-knowing again who we are. We have to let go of self. We have to be willing to die to be reborn. We are not this form. We are the objective observer. The equanimous, I can't pronounce that word, self that is in the objective observer. And we are here to experience everything through this vessel that we call me, without judging it, just simply, there's that pain in my heart again. There's that physical ache again. There's that mind wandering off again. Are we ever going to be able to stop the mind from thinking? No, that's what the mind does. But do we have to be constantly distracted by what it says? No. We can gain the control necessary through yoga to observe the mind rather than be carried away by it. And that's what it's all about. Observing rather than being carried away by the drama that's unfolding in front of us. Accepting all as it is without resisting one iota of it. Does that mean we don't make changes, crazy lady? That we don't, say no to someone coming up and punching us in the gut? Of course not. Of course, we're still human in these forms. To an extent, we're going to experience these things, and we're going to be human with these emotions and these thoughts and this, and we do not have to allow ourselves to be hurt or beat up just in the sake of yoga, nor do we have to renounce in the way that Westerners think of renouncing and giving up those precious things we own. That's not renouncing. True renouncing is giving up this need for me. This need for me as a star in this play. And it's replacing my with thy. And that's what will bring us to Sat Chit Ananda. Because that Sat Chit Ananda is the thy without the my. It is the thee without the me. What will it cost us, crazy lady? It will cost us me. In order to be in the experience of eternal conscious bliss, we need to give up the focus on little me, on the self with the lowercase s, for the experience of the self with the uppercase s, for God, for Sat Chit Ananda. When we release all those blockages, all this focus on me, the blockages automatically release. We automatically rise up to meet Sat Chit Ananda. It's just us with our human hands, personal focus, our psyche focus, pushing everything down on top of that flow of Shakti so we don't experience true joy, true bliss, true ecstasy, true love. We think it's all out there. But when we remove those hands and fall back away from me and into thee, away from what I consider my or mine and into thy, then an amazing thing happens. We eventually, bit by bit, feel the flow of Shakti within us as we rise higher and higher and higher to the place we're supposed to be, Sat Chit Ananda. We will experience God, experience that amazing feeling, that amazing experience of being. Once again, because it is about recognizing, reknowing, without all the drama and all the me stuff in the way. Well, that is what I have to say about that. I hope it helps. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and namaste.